Tianran walked through the supermarket, an AirPod in his ear playing news about a sudden surge in animal attacks on humans. He barely reacted, focused instead on filling his cart with supplies for his younger sister, Han Han. As he turned into the produce aisle, he overheard two men whispering about a man who had been fine one moment but collapsed and died from a mysterious disease. Loading his purchases into the back of his car, Tianran glanced around the parking lot, the unsettling conversation lingering in his mind. The world still seemed normal, but he couldn't shake the feeling that it wouldn't stay that way for long. With the car packed to its limit, he drove off, determined to be ready for whatever was coming. Tianran glanced at the supplies in the back of his car. Instant foods, meat, snacks, and canned goods stacked neatly. All he needed now was diesel. As he drove toward the nearest station, his phone rang. "Hello?" he answered. The voice on the other end was familiar. It was a woman, a potential wife, reminding him of the proposal she had brought up before. She spoke of how much better his life could be if he accepted her conditions, hinting at how his current life didn't align with her plans. Tianran's tone was steady as he responded, "I'm not willing to put my sister in an orphanage just to make this work." There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end, followed by her cold response. "If you're planning to bring her along, I'm not interested in marriage." Tianran's grip on the steering wheel tightened, but his voice remained calm. "Li Han is my sister," he said firmly. Tianran listened as the woman's voice on the other end grew sharper. Her anger boiled over, and she declared she was done. She wouldn't marry someone unwilling to leave his sister behind. "Fine," Tianran replied calmly, not bothering to argue. He ended the call, his focus on the road ahead. Suddenly, a loud thud jolted the car, and Tianran slammed on the brakes. His heart raced as he looked out, wondering if he'd hit a dog. Stepping out to check, he saw what looked like a goat lying on the road. But as he approached, he froze. It wasn't just any goat. Its eyes glowed an unnatural red, staring straight at him before it bolted into the woods. Shaking off the strange encounter, Tianran parked the car and began unloading the groceries at home. His thoughts were interrupted by his sister, Han Han, calling out to him from a distance. She ran toward him, two excited dogs trailing behind her. "Brother, let me help!" she exclaimed, her face beaming with enthusiasm. Tianran handed her a bag of groceries, his lips curling into a small smile. "Here, carry this inside, but don't drop it," he said, watching as she ran off with the dogs close at her heels. As the group walked towards their destination, a strange creature with glowing red eyes loomed in the distance, watching them silently from the shadows. Unnoticed by them, it stayed motionless, waiting. Later, they gathered around a table, excitement buzzing in the air as they discussed the solar eclipse that was about to happen. The countdown had begun, and everyone was eager to witness the rare event. Tianran glanced over at Li Han, reminding her, "Make sure you put on your glasses." As the countdown continued, Tianran's gaze shifted toward the window, noticing something strange. "What is that?" he muttered, his voice low with concern. Li Han, looking out, gasped. The sun had turned an eerie black, surrounded by a growing blue glow. The phenomenon expanded, continuing to grow with every passing second. With the countdown nearing its end, 3. Suddenly, without warning, the air outside shifted. A massive storm began to swirl, winds howling as they ripped through the surroundings. The group scrambled in confusion, realizing that something far more sinister than the eclipse was unfolding before them. As the eclipse reached its peak, Tianran watched in horror as his black dog began to convulse, its body shifting and contorting, its eyes glowing an eerie red, as if the celestial event was transforming it into something unnatural. Suddenly, a bull-like creature charged at Tianran, its massive horns aiming directly for him. Heart pounding, he sprinted towards where his bow was resting, hoping it was close enough. When he grabbed it, his breath caught. The dog, now transformed and mangled, lay in the corner, bloodied from the creature's attack. His hands trembled as he notched an arrow, gathering all his focus to pull back the string. Just as he prepared to release, a window popped up before him, displaying unfamiliar information. Without hesitation, he shot. Multiple arrows shot forward in rapid succession, slicing through the air. heading straight for the creature. The bull let out a shrill, agonized shriek as the arrows embedded into its head. But to Tien Ran's shock, it didn't slow down. It only grew angrier, its massive body charging forward relentlessly. Tien Ran's excitement quickly turned to frustration as the creature continued its assault. Desperately, he glanced around for more arrows, but a chilling thought struck him. If the bull had mutated, then his black dog had likely mutated too, and it was no longer safe for his sister, Li Han, to stay inside. In the room, Han Han anxiously paced, glancing at Xiao He, her once innocent dog now acting strangely. "What's wrong with you, Xiao He?" she whispered, worry creeping into her voice. But before she could react further, her other dog with glowing red eyes, now unmistakably mutated, lunged at her with terrifying speed. In a split second, Tien Ran burst through the door, eyes wide with horror. With a swift leg maneuver, he quickly intercepted Xiao Bai's attack, knocking the dog aside in a desperate attempt to protect his sister. The once loyal pet, now a twisted version of itself, growled fiercely, ready for another strike. Tien Ran, panting with urgency, turned to Han Han. "Get to the safe house, now. Don't come out until it's safe," he ordered, his voice firm with desperation as he tried to shield her from the chaos unfolding. As Tien Ran rushed to push Han Han inside the safe room, a sudden blue projection appeared in front of him, displaying a readout of how many living beings were within range. Far too many for comfort. He quickly shoved his sister inside, his voice urgent. "Stay here and don't come out no matter what," he commanded, locking the door behind her. Just as he closed it, the mutated white dog lunged at him, its teeth bared. But Xiao He, the black dog, now a fierce protector, intercepted the attack, biting down hard on the creature's neck, forcing it back. Grateful but knowing the danger wasn't over, Tien Ran turned and sprinted toward the weapons stash. He grabbed his axe, determination burning in his chest. The bull was still out there, and he had no intention of letting it, or anything else, threaten his sister's safety. The bull charged at Tien Ran with terrifying force, but with a swift sidestep, he managed to evade the creature, causing it to ram into the tree behind him. The bull's horn became lodged deep in the bark, leaving it temporarily stuck. Tien Ran seized the opportunity, gripping his axe with both hands, and shouted at the creature, "Go and die!" before swinging it with all his strength. But just as he prepared for the final blow, a sharp pain erupted in his neck. The mutated white dog, Xiao Bai, had attacked from behind, sinking its teeth into him. Tien Ran gasped in shock, realizing the depth of the danger. If Xiao He hadn't intercepted earlier, he might have been the one lying dead now. The frustration and anger surged through him, but his attention was quickly diverted back to the bull. Suddenly, the bull, still impaled by the tree, shifted, and its own horn plunged into its stomach, seemingly killing itself in the process. Tien Ran blinked in disbelief, but before he could process it, a strange voice echoed through his mind. Apocalypse, survival game matching. Blood pouring from his wounds, Tien Ran collapsed to the ground, barely able to keep his eyes open. He was about to succumb to the darkness when the system's announcement cut through the chaos. Apocalypse survival games successfully matched. Apocalypse game successfully loaded. The system's voice echoed coldly in Tien Ran's fading mind. Player, Li Tien Ran. Shelter, a poorly run manor, level 1. Shelter, skill Eye of Truth. Rank, B rank. The words blurred together as Tien Ran drifted in and out of consciousness, his body weak and drenched in blood. The system's mechanical tone continued, indifferent to his pain. Points needed to upgrade to fortress rank. 8 million. Through the haze of agony, Tien Ran's thoughts scrambled. What shelter? What system? None of it made sense, yet the ominous numbers and rankings carved themselves into his mind as his vision dimmed further, leaving him teetering on the edge of life and death. Tien Ran's eyes fluttered open, his body sprawled on the cold ground outside his home. He blinked against the dim light of dawn, the chill seeping into his bones. "I'm still alive," he murmured, his voice hoarse. The memory of being pierced by the bull's horn flashed through his mind. He looked down at his torn, blood-soaked clothes, proof that it wasn't a dream. Yet as his hand instinctively touched his neck and chest, he realized something impossible. His wounds were gone. "What is going on?" he whispered, his heart racing. He struggled to his feet, scanning his surroundings. The chaos of the battle was evident. Broken trees, claw marks on the ground, and the faint metallic smell of blood in the air. "Where's that bull? And Xiao Bai?" he muttered, his thoughts swirling in confusion. His eyes darted to the ground, searching for answers. He clenched his fists, desperate to piece together what happened during the moments he had lost consciousness. Suddenly, a cold, mechanical voice echoed in Tianran's mind, snapping him from his daze. "Player Tianran, welcome to the Apocalypse survival game. Player identity has been activated." He froze, the haunting words replaying in his head. The memories of the strange system, the bull, and Xiao Bai came flooding back. Before he could process it all, the voice continued. "The first round of destruction season has descended. There are 30 days until the next round of destruction season. Natural disasters will ravage the world, and the only fortress you can rely on is your shelter." Tianran's pulse quickened as the weight of the situation sank in. The system's tone remained emotionless as it issued a mission. "Survive the Apocalypse survival game and build your shelter into the strongest fortress." His mind reeled. "Wait, this is just the start?" he muttered. The voice offered no answer, but the realization dawned on him as he surveyed the poisoned land around his home. The once vivid greens now dull and lifeless. The first round poisoned the land where we live. What's going to happen next? The question lingered, heavy with dread. Walking closer to his white dog, Tianran noticed it lying unconscious on the ground. Its chest faintly rose and fell, proof that it was still alive. He crouched down, examining the creature closely. "It must have eaten a poisoned plant and mutated by accident," he murmured, his voice tinged with both frustration and concern. Reluctantly, he decided to lock Xiao Bai in a cage. "I'll find a way to cure you, my precious dog," he vowed, his heart heavy as he carried the limp animal to the barn. Turning his attention to his sister, Tianran opened the barn door. Darkness engulfed the space as he reached for the light switch. Nothing happened. His heart sank. "The power's out!" "But the diesel generator should be fine," he muttered, confusion growing into unease. Han! He called out, his voice echoing in the stillness. No answer. His worry deepened as he scanned the barn, his footsteps quickening. Then, his eyes caught sight of something, a pair of small feet sticking out from behind a stack of supplies. Han! He screamed, rushing toward her motionless form. Dropping to his knees, he grabbed her, shaking her gently. Fear gripped his chest like a vice as he desperately searched for signs of life. Meanwhile, Han remained peacefully asleep, unaware of the chaos unfolding outside. Elsewhere, Tianran was gripping the wheel tightly, the distant hum of the generator back at the barn now a faint memory. In his vehicle, a simple handgun rested on the passenger seat, the only weapon he'd brought along. Out of nowhere, mutated creatures emerged from the shadow, their glowing eyes locking onto his car as they began to chase him down the desolate road. The creatures' shrieks filled the air, growing louder with every passing second. Just as Tianran contemplated using his handgun to fend them off, the distant rumble of a powerful engine shattered the tension. A military truck roared into view, barreling down the road and overtaking him in seconds. Before he could react, the truck swerved abruptly, cutting him off and forcing him to slam on the brakes. His car skidded to a halt, tires screeching against the pavement. The truck stopped ahead, its mounted machine gun swiveling to aim directly at him. Tianran froze, his grip tightening on the handgun as the standoff began. As Tianran cautiously approached the city, he found himself surrounded by scenes of desperation and chaos. A man popped out of the military truck, gripping the machine gun tightly and pointing it straight at him. Tianran immediately raised his hands, deciding it was better to comply than risk further trouble. The soldier, speaking into a walkie-talkie, briefly glanced at Tianran and then back at the road. It didn't take long for Tianran to notice the insignia on the soldier's uniform. It was from the nearby military base. "Don't stay out here too long," the soldier warned, lowering his weapon slightly. Tianran explained his dire situation, mentioning the lack of resources at his house and his need to gather supplies. "What's the situation in the city?" he asked cautiously. Before the soldier could fully answer, a voice crackled through the walkie-talkie. "Base B needs immediate assistance. it commanded. The soldier hesitated for a moment before turning back to Tian Ran. "The city isn't safe anymore. Get what you need and head home early," he warned firmly. Tian Ran nodded in agreement, though his mind drifted to someone else. Despite their breakup, he still felt an obligation to check on his ex-girlfriend, Zhang Lin. She might be in danger, and he couldn't ignore that possibility. As he ventured further into the city, announcements blared over loudspeakers, detailing the dire state of emergency. Police cars and ambulances were scattered across the streets, but civilian vehicles were almost non-existent. Tian Ran noticed a stationary ambulance nearby, with paramedics frantically loading a bleeding man into the back. Chaos was everywhere. People screaming, others injured, and the city's pulse in disarray. Near the main road, he stumbled upon a government resource station. A long line of people waited impatiently as supplies were rationed out. A police officer announced the rules: 5 caddies of rice and 1 caddy of vegetables per person with valid certification. The prices were staggering. Rice was being sold for 160 caddies, vegetables for 280 caddies. Arguments broke out in the line, tensions flaring as people fought over their place. As Tian Ran neared Zhang Lin's apartment, a vehicle suddenly screeched to a halt in front of him, cutting him off. A large, overweight man with a stylish mustache stepped out, holding a hefty bag of supplies. "Need food?" the man asked, showing off his stash of watermelons, tomatoes, rice, and more. Tian Ran wasn't in the mood for games. "If you're willing to eat all that food, then I'll buy it," he replied coldly. The man blinked, confused and slightly offended. "What are you talking about? You were just in line for supplies, weren't you? Are you calling me a liar?" he demanded angrily. Tian Ran didn't flinch. His patience was running thin, and his distrust of strangers had only grown. "Leave me alone," he said firmly. When the man refused to back off, Tian Ran pulled out his handgun and aimed it directly at him. "Last warning," he said, voice steady. "Leave me alone." The man hesitated, his eyes darting between Tian Ran's gun and his face, before grumbling and backing away. Tian Ran lowered his weapon, but kept it ready as he continued to Zhang Lin's apartment. When he reached her door, he knocked and called her name, but there was no response. He knew where she kept her spare key, so he retrieved it and let himself inside. The scene inside the apartment immediately put him on edge. The place was in complete disarray, furniture overturned, belongings scattered everywhere. But there were no bloodstains or clear signs of a struggle. "What happened here?" he murmured, stepping carefully through the mess. His heart sank as he realized she was nowhere to be found. Standing in the chaos, Tian Ran couldn't shake the thought. Where could she have gone in the apocalypse? At home, the system began to speak. Rank B Level 1, Shelter Skill Reward, Eye of Reality. All objects and creatures will be displayed digitally in front of the host. The system continued, explaining that Tian Ran now had Level 1 Shelter Authority, which allowed him to remotely control the shelter and perceive it even when he wasn't physically there. Shelter area, 30 acres, usable for fishing, farming, and construction. The system then revealed that Tian Ran's farm was currently operating at a loss. The greenhouse was displayed as a Level 1 dilapidated greenhouse, broken down and shabby. Determined to turn things around, Tian Ran grabbed a hoe and began working the field, sweat dripping down his face. Just then, Han Han called out excitedly, "Big brother, a plant has sprouted." Rushing to her side, Tian Ran saw a tiny green shoot emerging from the soil. The system prompted, "Tomato seedlings detected. Time until crop maturity, 48 hours. Relieved and ecstatic that the anti-radiation seeds were working as promised, Tian Ran realized this might be the key to surviving the apocalypse. He turned to Han Han and asked if she had memorized the rules he'd given her. Excitedly, she recited, 1. Don't eat any food unless it's given by Big Brother. 2. Without Big Brother's permission, don't leave the farm. 3. If I see any strange animals, I must hide. A notification suddenly appeared. Crops are mature, ready for harvest. Tianran harvested 70% of the crops, converting a portion into points while keeping the rest in his inventory. The system prompted, "Are you sure you want to recycle 200 kilograms of anti-radiation crops?" After confirming, the system notified him that he'd gained 2,000 points. Tianran kept 30 kilograms of crops in his inventory and stored the ancient medicinal carrots for later. The system announced, "First recycle complete. Achievement unlocked. Recycle master. Reward, artificial intelligence work robot." Tianran was thrilled by the reward system. Holding the small robot in his hands, it greeted him cheerfully. At first glance, the robot appeared tiny and unimpressive, but its sleek design hinted at hidden capabilities. Suddenly, the robot sprang to life, moving with incredible speed. Slash-like appendages emerged from its arms, ready for action. Tianran realized the robot could execute commands directly from his thoughts. To celebrate the successful harvest, he prepared a large chicken dinner for everyone. Before serving the food, he reminded Han, "Don't tell anyone we have food. If you do, you won't eat for 3 days." Han promised to keep the secret. After dinner, Tianran gave some chicken to Xiaohe, their other dog, and comforted Han, who was worried about Xiaobai. "Xiaobai's badly hurt, but once he recovers, he'll play with you again. For now, don't disturb him while he rests." Heading to check on Xiaobai, Tianran found the dog caged and glaring at him defensively. The once loyal pet now looked like a feral monster, its mutation further progressing. Xiaobai's eyes locked on Tianran, a strange hostility emanating from the animal. Suddenly, the system alerted him. Intrusion detected. Accessing the monitoring screen, Tianran saw a figure outside his gate. A shabby-looking man identified by the system as a level 3 threat, male, 42 years old. Recognizing the man, Tianran muttered in surprise, "Uncle Nan? What is he doing here?" Tianran stood just inside the gate, watching Uncle Nan carefully. "Why are you here?" he asked, his voice steady but firm. Uncle Nan, holding a used cloud maker, looked desperate. "Tianran, I need help," he said quickly, his voice trembling. "Do you have any surplus food? The market prices are outrageous. I can't afford anything." Tianran studied him for a moment before responding, "Speak clearly." "What's going on?" Uncle Nan explained his dire situation, his family struggling to survive amidst the chaos. "We're barely holding on," he admitted, his voice heavy with shame. "I don't know where else to turn." There was a pause. Tianran didn't want to reveal too much and carefully replied, "I don't have much either. Most of my crops were destroyed by the mutations." Hearing this, Uncle Nan rubbed the back of his head awkwardly, realizing he had little to offer in return. His helplessness was written all over his face. Despite the harshness of the apocalypse, Tianran thought of the time Uncle Nan had saved his family. He decided to repay the kindness. "Wait here," Tianran said, heading inside. He returned moments later with a bag full of cup noodles. "This is all I can spare," he said, handing it over. Uncle Nan's eyes welled up with gratitude as he took the bag. "Thank you, Tianran. You've helped more than you know," he said before leaving. Watching Uncle Nan walk away, Tianran muttered to himself, "That's about 5 days worth of food." He knew the unpredictability of human nature during the apocalypse, and decided that if he helped Uncle Nan again, it would have to be in secret. Later that night, Tianran crept toward Uncle Nan's home with another bag of supplies. As he approached, he heard coughing, harsh and wet. Peeking inside, he was startled to see a man lying on a bed, coughing up blood. Uncle Nan was kneeling beside him, tears streaming down his face. "My son!" Uncle Nan sobbed. "Don't die on me," he muttered. Han, who had followed Tianran unnoticed, whispered, "Uncle Nan's son is coughing a lot of blood." Tianran examined the scene closely. He must have eaten irradiated vegetables by mistake, he concluded. Though the situation was grim, a thought crossed Tianran's mind. This might be the perfect opportunity to test my products. Suddenly, the window shattered and a bag was thrown inside. Uncle Nan jumped to his feet, yelling at the unknown assailant, "Show yourself!" His son, however, seemed oddly intrigued. "Father, get the bag," he urged, his voice filled with excitement despite his condition. Tianran, still outside, decided it was time to leave. From a distance, he could hear Uncle Nan comforting his son, offering him food from the mysterious bag. "Eat this. The hospital can't help you anymore," Uncle Nan said, tears in his eyes. As the young man ate, he suddenly screamed in pain. Uncle Nan rushed to his side, shouting his name as the coughing worsened. But then, something unexpected happened. His son's body reacted violently, followed by silence. Meanwhile, Tianran walked along the road, noticing something peculiar. Electricity flickered back on in the distance. Does this mean the signal is working now? He wondered aloud. Pulling out his phone, he dialed Zhonglin's number. It rang a few times before going to voicemail. Unbeknownst to Tianran, the phone he called was inside a car. A woman lay unconscious in the back seat, her phone ringing loudly. "Turn that off," one man in the car snapped, annoyed by the noise. The other man complied, silencing the phone before returning to their conversation. "How much food do you think we can get with this new product?" one of them asked. The driver shrugged. "Does it matter? They want humans for some reason. Just take the money and keep quiet." Driving back home, Han excitedly remarked, "Did you see that? Just by eating the carrot, the person healed, and Zhao Tian's body changed from gray to blue. How amazing is that?" Tianran was astounded at how graphic her description was. His mind raced with the possibilities. As the car sped through the road, a figure suddenly darted near them at incredible speed. With a sudden bang, the creature slammed into the roof of the car, shaking the vehicle and startling both of them. A monstrous hand gripped the roof, and Tianran's eyes widened as he saw the creature towering on top, its massive teeth and blood-red eyes glaring down. With a deafening roar, it reared back, slashing at the vehicle with a deadly swipe, narrowly missing Tianran. Han, get down!" Tianran shouted, grabbing his handgun. The creature's claws scraped along the roof as the car bounced, but Tianran floored the accelerator, attempting to outrun the beast. And Tianran's speed worked in their favor. He slammed the vehicle into the creature's stomach, sending it flying off the hood with a resounding crash. With the creature now sprawled on the ground, Tianran stopped the car. He stepped out cautiously, inspecting the monster. Seeing that it was dead, Tianran bent down to examine the creature. It looked like a mutated monkey, with a strange serial number marked on its body. He wondered where it could have come from. There were no nearby farms or zoos. After dealing with the creature, Tianran turned to Han. "Go watch the animation the TV," he told her, trying to change the subject and lighten the mood. As he made his way toward his mutated dog, Tianran felt a mix of hope and worry. He was determined to try something new. "System, take the medicinal roots out of my inventory," he commanded. The system responded immediately, and the roots appeared in his hand. Knowing the food could remove toxins, Tianran wondered how it might affect his dog. If the carrot could cure human mutations, maybe it could help his dog return to normal. He made the dog eat the carrot, hoping for the best. At first, the dog became agitated, barking and growling furiously. Suddenly, thunder raged outside, which startled Han, causing her to jump. Alarmed, she rushed to her brother's side. Sneaking up on him playfully, she tried to scare him. But when she saw her dog lying motionless on the ground, she froze. "No!" she cried, rushing over to the dog. She shook it gently, but it didn't respond. Tears filled her eyes. "Why does this have to happen? We have the carrots. Why can't they save Xiao Bai?" she asked, her voice trembling with desperation. Tianran kneeled beside her and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "The carrots can't save those that are already mutated. The process is too far gone." Han refused to accept it. "No, please, I don't want her to die," she cried, refusing to let go of the hope that somehow there was still a chance to save Xiao Bai. The two siblings stood silently beside a towering tree, its ancient branches swaying gently in the wind. At its base was a newly built grave, the soil fresh and undisturbed. Both Tianran and Han Han stared at it, their hearts heavy with loss. The atmosphere was tense and downcast, the weight of the moment pressing down on them. Later at home, Han Han sat on the couch, watching her favorite kids' show in an attempt to distract herself. Her laughter was absent though, and her eyes lacked their usual sparkle. In the kitchen, Tianran busied himself preparing dinner. He glanced toward Han Han and called out, "Xiaohei, stay with Han Han, will you? Keep her company." Xiaohei, the loyal dog, wagged its tail and obediently trotted over to Han Han. It nuzzled her hand, trying to lift her spirits. Just as Tianran finished chopping vegetables, the system's familiar voice chimed in. "Radiation-resistant crops have matured. It's time to harvest." Tianran tapped the system interface, accepting the harvest with a click. In an instant, a notification popped up. "You have harvested 500 kilograms of radiation-resistant crops and 10 kilograms of ancient medicinal-grade crops." A small smile tugged at Tianran's lips as he redeemed the points. His hard work had paid off. Moments later, another notification appeared. "Congratulations, your greenhouse has upgraded to level 2, ordinary greenhouse." Tianran's excitement was short-lived, however, as a new system announcement echoed in his mind. "Warning, system defense shelter is only at level 3. Current protection is limited to small animals. Risks are significantly high. It is recommended to prioritize safety improvements immediately." Tianran furrowed his brow. The realization hit him. His shelter was barely adequate to defend against the dangers of the apocalypse. He couldn't afford to leave things as they were. "Looks like safety has to come first," he muttered to himself, his determination growing. Expansion could wait. For now, his priority was ensuring that he and Han Han would be safe, no matter what threats came their way. With a determined click, Tianran upgraded the walls of the shelter to level 2, immediately deducting 1,000 points from his system balance. He didn't hesitate. Safety came first. Next, he purchased a perimeter power grid for an additional 500 points. The system confirmed the installation, and the defenses around the shelter lit up, crackling faintly with energy. Scrolling through the options, Tianran noticed a red robotic unit labeled Radar Parade, Level 1, and decided to buy it. The system deployed the robot, a sleek machine with glowing sensors, designed to scan for intruders and provide early warnings. But as the notifications rolled in, he glanced at his remaining points. They were dangerously low. He knew he still needed to purchase mechanical guards to ensure Han Han's safety when he wasn't around. His gaze landed on the robotic dog option, a high-tech protector with an impressive skill set. Yet, when he saw the cost, his heart sank. It was far beyond what he could afford. After a moment of hesitation, Tianran made a decision. Points could be earned again, but lives were priceless. He accessed the system's warehouse, selling off a large portion of the grains he had stored. The points surged back into his balance, and he immediately allocated them to purchases. First, he acquired a Level 1 Hummingbird, a small but deadly aerial unit. It had a speed rating of 5 and a damage rating of 3. Its attack method was precision shooting. Then, he purchased a Level 2 Hound, a mechanical dog with a damage rating of 7. It boasted an arsenal of attacks, including burning, shooting, and biting. Wanting to test his new companions, Tianran commanded the hummingbird to target some falling leaves outside. The tiny machine zipped through the air with uncanny precision, slicing the leaves in half as they drifted downward. "Impressive," Tianran muttered, watching the small patrol bot in action. It was now an airborne guardian that could swiftly eliminate intruders. Next, he turned to the hound warrior. "Let's see what you can do," he said, pointing to a large rock. The mechanical dog opened its mouth, and a purple laser beam shot from its mouth, striking the rock and shattering it into pieces. Tian Ran couldn't hide his astonishment. Calling Han Han, he brought her to the shelter's yard, where the robotic dog stood waiting. Han Han, he said, gesturing to the machine, this is for you. It's your new companion, and it will always keep you safe. Han Han's eyes widened as she approached the mechanical dog. She placed a hand on its smooth metal surface, her expression torn between wonder and sadness. You can even name it, Tian Ran said gently. If you want, you can call it Xiao Bai, like our old dog. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she nodded. Xiao Bai, you'll protect me, won't you? The robotic hound let out a soft mechanical bark, as if in response. Han Han knelt down, hugging its sturdy frame as tears rolled down her cheeks. In that moment, Tian Ran felt a sense of relief. He couldn't replace the past, but he could give Han Han a safer future. In an office, an assistant was reporting to a man who's asking how everything was going. The assistant reported that only number 7's data was doing well and able to punch through 5mm thick steel plates. When he mentioned the other project, the assistant murmured that Vice President Ren is not happy that we didn't donate the medical equipment if we report this to the head office. Things won't be good, sitting down Liang Tianyu, the general manager of Tianrun. Pharmaceutical? Champete. He says that the girl's background is small and things were done secretly and she wouldn't be able to figure it out. He told the assistant to tell Chen Nan to keep an eye on Ren Xiao so that she doesn't ruin her business, hoping that maybe, just maybe, there will be a great treasure. In a bustling hallway, Vice President Ren Xiao stormed into the general manager's office, her tone sharp and unyielding. "Where is Liang Tianyu?" she demanded, her piercing eyes locking onto the startled assistant. The assistant hesitated before replying. "Mr. Liang is not at the office at the moment," she says. As she opened the office door, Ren Xiao's expression darkened. She began to yell. Instead of donating equipment and medicine to help people, he's busy conducting animal experiments. Her voice carried a biting edge of frustration. The general manager, seated calmly behind his desk, interjected, his tone composed but firm. "Vice President Ren, this is the general manager's office. I'd appreciate it if you didn't barge in unannounced." Ren Xiao turned her glare toward him, but the man remained unfazed. "Also, I'm a businessman," he said evenly, leaning back in his chair. "It's only natural for me to aim for profit in everything I do. Frankly, I'm not sure today's medicine can even begin to address the world's current diseases." "What?" Ren Xiao snapped, her disbelief evident. The general manager smiled faintly. "You're a shareholder in this company, aren't you? Imagine the impact and the profits if we discovered a groundbreaking cure to the problems plaguing the world." Ren Xiao tilted her head, a glimmer of curiosity crossing her face. "So," she said, with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes, "has Mr. Liang's research made any progress?" The general manager chuckled lightly. "Even the federal government hasn't developed effective drugs yet," he said, deflecting her question. "Then I suppose I'll have to visit your lab myself," she declared, her tone resolute as she fingered the glowing blue necklace resting on her chest. Mr. Liang continues, his demeanor calm, but his voice eager. "Vice President Ren, if you could allocate more manpower to our project, progress would undoubtedly be faster." Ren Xiao glanced at him, her expression unreadable. "I'll consider it," she replied. "But first, I need to see the lab for myself before I decide to cooperate further." Mr. Zhang, standing nearby, nodded politely. "You're more than welcome to visit, Vice President Ren. I'll arrange for a personal escort to ensure you have full access." Ren Xiao turned on her heel, her heels clicking against the polished floor as she headed out. "Prepare the lab for my inspection," she called over her shoulder, leaving the room filled with a tense but purposeful energy. As Ren Xiao exited the lab's main corridor, her assistant hurried alongside her, their voice low but filled with concern. Vice President, you spent so little time in the office that we still haven't found any secret entrances to the lab. It's like this place is a fortress. Ren Xiao smirked. That general manager is a sly fox. He's hiding something, and I intend to find out what. She paused, then asked, what about the scientist we captured? Did you get anything from them? The assistant shook their head. No, they're blindfolded every time they go in or out of the lab. But we did manage to get our hands on a keycard. Ren Xiao's eyes narrowed as she considered the possibilities. Then the question is, where's the secret laboratory? Moments later, they entered the brightly lit research wing, accompanied by a man named Tu Zi, who introduced himself as the lab director. Vice President Ren, Tu Zi said with a rehearsed smile, I'll personally walk you through everything we've been working on. He led her to a towering glass tube filled with a glowing blue liquid. Suspended inside was a grotesque, mutated creature with pulsating veins and sharp, unnatural features. This, Tu Zi explained, gesturing to the tank, is subject number 7. It's the only one among our test subjects that didn't go berserk. Its physical power has increased tenfold, though it still exhibits some instability and occasional aggressiveness. Ren Xiao raised an eyebrow, her curiosity piqued. Before she could ask more, a nervous-looking scientist hurried into the room and leaned close to whisper in Tu Zi's ear. Tu Zi's face drained of color as he absorbed the message. Ren Xiao noticed his unease and couldn't help but smirk knowingly. This is my doing, she thought, though she maintained an innocent expression. Tu Zi straightened and turned to her, his voice strained but polite. Vice President Ren, it seems there's been an urgent matter that requires my attention. Someone else can continue the tour in my place. Ren Xiao interrupted him with a wave of her hand. No need, I'll just look around a bit and leave on my own. The director hesitated, visibly uncomfortable. I'm afraid that's against protocol. All visitors must be accompanied. Ren Xiao cut him off with a disarming smile. Relax, we're all under surveillance, aren't we? Nothing to worry about. Tu Zi's hesitation lingered for a moment before he finally relented. All right, but for your safety, we'll keep monitoring you at all times. He gestured to his team and hurried out to deal with the emergency. Once alone, Ren Xiao casually strolled through the lab, her demeanor calm and collected. With a subtle touch to her earpiece, she murmured, "It's time to act." A man's voice responded in her ear, calm and focused. Understood. Back at a control station, the hacker's fingers flew across his keyboard. In moments, the lab's surveillance system was hijacked and the camera feeds went dark. Ren Xiao grinned. Cameras are down? She asked. Completely, the hacker confirmed. Good, she replied. Her voice turned sharp. Start scanning this place. Find their hideout. On it, the hacker said, as he began running a full sweep of the lab's network and layout, uncovering its hidden secrets. Ren Xiao stood still for a moment, looking around the room with calculated confidence. Let's see how well that sly fox hides his secrets. Ren Xiao ran her fingers along the smooth walls, feeling for any signs of a hollow section. The hacker's voice came through her earpiece, calm but urgent. You've got 30 minutes tops before they notice the system's been tampered with. Understood, she whispered back, her eyes scanning for anything out of place. After a tense few minutes, her fingers tapped against a subtle indentation in the wall. Pressing it, she heard a soft click, and a hidden doorway slid open, revealing a narrow, dimly lit passageway. Ren Xiao stepped inside cautiously, her heels echoing against the cold metal floor. The air was heavier here, carrying a faint chemical odor. She moved deeper into the hidden lab, and as she turned a corner, she froze. Before her stood rows of massive glass tubs filled with water. Inside them were human beings, floating lifelessly, their bodies unnaturally pale, with wires and tubes snaking into their skin. Some had strange growths or scars, as if their bodies had been surgically altered or experimented on. The hacker's voice cut through the silence. What's it like in there? Ren Xiao's voice was low, laced with a rare hint of unease. It's worse than I imagined. This isn't just unethical, it's monstrous. Do I need to call the dead office to intervene? The hacker asked, referring to a covert task force that specialized in eradicating illegal experiments like these. Ren Xiao hesitated, her gaze moving to the far end of the room. Not yet, wait a minute. Her eyes locked onto another tank, larger than the rest, with an eerie glow emanating from its base. Inside was a creature that made her stomach turn. The being had the face of a human, but its lower half was that of a fish, grotesquely stitched together at the waist. Its eyes were open but lifeless, and its body was scarred and misshapen, as though it had endured unspeakable torment. Ren Xiao swallowed hard, her composed exterior cracking just slightly. They're not just experimenting on humans, they're hosting things, abominations. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the fields as Tian Ren picked the last of his special corn. The golden husks shone under the light, showing they were ready to eat. Han bounced over, eyes bright. Finally, we're having grilled corn, right? Tian tossed her an ear of corn. Help me finish picking, and we can eat sooner. Han groaned. I'm too hungry to wait. Tian chuckled. Then go get some firewood. I'll make grilled corn with butter. Han's face lit up. Butter? You're the best. She ran off and quickly came back with a pile of wood. Soon, the fire crackled and the smell of roasted corn filled the air. Han grabbed one as soon as it was ready and took a big bite. So good. Tian sat nearby, smirking. If you keep eating like that, you'll turn into a fat pig. Han glared at him, but kept chewing. Not my fault your food is so good. Tian watched her eat. She'd been eating more lately, and so had he. These special crops made their bodies stronger. Don't worry, he said. You won't get fat, you're just growing. Han grinned. Good, make me a spicy one next. Tian flipped another corn over the fire, but then knock, knock, knock. He looked up. Who would visit at this hour? When he opened the door, Xia stood there holding a bag. Tian frowned. Xia? What are you doing here? Tian turned to Xia, curiosity flashing in his eyes. So, what brings you here? He asked. Xia rubbed the back of his neck, looking a little embarrassed. The other day, you gave my family some instant noodles. My father insisted on returning the favor, so he sent some food for your family. I brought it over. Tian smiled, waving it off. You didn't have to do that. I just helped the right person, that's all. Still, something piqued his interest. Where did you find all this food? He asked. Xia hesitated for a moment, then admitted. I found it in my yard. Might have been left there by a relative, or someone who snuck it in. Tian raised an eyebrow, but didn't press the matter. Xia then shifted, looking like he had something else on his mind. Actually, there's something I wanted to ask you. Go ahead, Tian said. I heard there's a new grain shopping center opening on the outskirts, south side, Xia explained. Still has a lot of stock. I wanted to borrow your truck to go buy some. Tian considered the request. Oh, and I don't have a driver's license? Xia added sheepishly. It's not too far, but the place is kind of remote. That was it. He was asking Tian to drive him there. Tian had been meaning to check the place out in a few days anyway. Now seemed as good a time as any. Plus, with the mechanical guards at home, he wasn't too worried about Han's safety. Ba's combat abilities alone were more than enough to handle trouble. Alright, Tian agreed. We're old acquaintances, after all, but I need to be back before noon to cook for Han. Xia's face lit up with relief. Thanks, I appreciate it. Sorry for the trouble. Tian waved him off again. Wait here, I'll get the truck. Before leaving, Tian made sure to check on Han. Stay inside and don't open the door for anyone, he told her. Han grinned. Don't worry, besides, Ba is super strong now. But then he gave her a serious look. Only use B in emergencies, all right? It's dangerous otherwise. Han pouted but nodded. Okay, I won't blow up rocks anymore." Tian chuckled and ruffled her hair. "Be good. Xia and I are going shopping. We'll bring you back some candy." Han perked up instantly. "Candy? Really?" "Really," Tian assured her. Her excitement doubled. "Can I say hi to Xia?" Tian smirked. "You just want to show off Ba, don't you?" Han huffed. "I'm 6 now. I'm not a little kid anymore." Tian laughed, but let her come along. Outside, Han greeted Xia eagerly. "Hi, Xia." "Guess what? Ba can—" Tian quickly cut her off. "All right, time to go. Han, get out of the truck so Xia can sit." Han frowned but obeyed. "You're so mean," she muttered as she stomped back inside. Tian shook his head, smiling. As soon as the truck pulled away, Han sighed dramatically and went back to her cartoons. Tian, meanwhile, focused on the road. But Xia, after a few moments of silence, turned to him. "Is it okay for Han to be alone?" he asked. "The world's getting chaotic. What if bad guys target the farm?" Tian scoffed. "Who'd bother with my shabby farm? I don't have money or food worth stealing." "But Han is only 6, Xia pointed out. "Even if she had a weapon, she wouldn't be able to use it." Tian nodded. "That's why the gate's electrified. No one's getting in." Xia looked reassured and leaned back in his seat. But after a moment, he pulled out his phone and quickly typed a message. Tian noticed. "Texting someone?" Xia stiffened and stuffed the phone back in his pocket. "Just borrowed some money from friends," he muttered. Back at the farm, Han was glued to her cartoons. Excitedly, she threw her arms up. "Rainbow warriors should use their super evolution. Lemon yellow, golden yellow." She hugged her dog tightly and giggled. "Hey, do you think Xia can be a rainbow warrior too?" Her dog barked in response. Han snickered. "Last time we saw Xia, he was green with greed, but now he's all red." She burst into laughter at her own joke, kicking her feet happily. Tian handed some money to Xia, who looked confused. Tian explained that he didn't have much either, but Xia could take it for now. Xia refused, insisting that Tian had already done enough for his family and he couldn't accept more. Tian, however, insisted, telling him to stop talking nonsense and focus on driving. Grateful, Xia promised to repay his kindness. As they drove, Tian navigated. "Go straight for 500 meters, turn right in 300, then another 200 meters ahead, there's a fork in the road. After 100 more meters, turn right." But just as Tian prepared to make the turn, Xia suddenly swerved left, claiming the road ahead was closed. Tian immediately sensed something was wrong. "That's not true," he snapped. "I travel this road all the time. It's the main route through the township. It wouldn't just close unless there was a major disaster." He demanded to know where Xia had heard that. Xia hesitated before saying a friend told him. Tian wasn't convinced. "Give me your friend's number. I want to hear it from him directly." Xia urged him to trust him, promising he wouldn't do anything to harm him. Hesitant, but with no other choice, Tian turned the car around. Meanwhile, a group of bystanders noticed the unusual situation. One man whispered, "Something's not right." He alerted others in a nearby car. "Why would Tian turn back alone?" "What should we do?" another asked. Nan, their leader, responded grimly. "Get ready, the target is approaching. We stop them here." Lang added, "We need them alive. Block all escape routes and attack from the front and rear." He sneered, "Let's see if they can grow wings and fly away." Inside the car, Xia suddenly broke down, apologizing. His voice cracked with guilt. "Tian, I betrayed you. It's all my fault." Tian tensed. "What are you talking about?" Tears streaming, Xia confessed, "They took my father. I had no choice." Tian's grip on the wheel tightened. "Who?" "They're from Tin Run. They know you have the antidote for the poisoning. They forced me to lure you away so they could capture Han and make you submit." Tian's blood ran cold. "Han is only 6. They're trying to kidnap a child?" "I don't know what they plan to do," Xia cried. "They threatened my father's life. I had no choice." Just then, a car screeched to a stop. blocking their path. Xia turned pale. "They're here." Tian's eyes darkened. "Enough. You tested me? Everything you did, everything you said, was just to confirm if the farm was protected." His voice turned sharp. "Even when you were playing with your phone, you were messaging them." Outside, armed men were already closing in on Tian's house. Xia pleaded, "Tian, please, just give them the antidote. There's too many of them. We can't escape." Tian stared at him coldly. "You put Han in danger. I don't want to kill you, Xia, but I will never forgive this." Xia sobbed. "I regret everything, but I had no way out." Tian's voice was firm. "I'll deal with you later." He turned toward the approaching enemies, eyes blazing with fury. "As for them," his voice like steel, "not a single one is leaving my farm alive." Xia remembered the night when he was healed. Nan had been so happy about it, saying how scared he had been. Xia admitted that he couldn't believe he had actually survived. Nan commented that Xia was an idiot for eating something different that caused his illness. Xia explained that he was so hungry he couldn't stand it anymore, and found an apple in the cellar that didn't seem to have any trace of contamination. Nan scolded Xia for being so desperate and daring to eat anything from the cellar, as it was all in contact with the ground. Xia replied that they had been eating nothing but gruel for several days, so he decided to take a gamble. Otherwise, he would have starved to death sooner or later. Nan told him to stop talking nonsense, and mentioned that he had borrowed some food. They had received a wave of food drops, among them a magical elixir that saved Xia's life. This must have been a blessing from the gods. They couldn't bear to see Xia suffer so much, so they saved his life. Nan reminded Xia that many people had died from accidentally eating poisonous vegetables, and he was the only one who survived. Therefore, they must go to pay homage to their ancestral graves later to thank them for their blessings. Xia thought that if there really was a god, such a disaster shouldn't be allowed to happen in this world. He believed the elixir had been given by someone who didn't want to reveal their identity. Then, he noticed a bag of fruits and heard Nan ask if he was hungry. Xia couldn't believe someone had given them so much food while their family had been left to starve without even the basic necessities for survival. Nan reassured him that they had received all this food, and he was going to get something for Xia to eat, emphasizing that Xia was still recovering from a serious illness and needed to recover well. Suddenly, Xia remembered something and got up to go outside. Nan asked where he was going. Xia replied that he would be back in a while. Nan insisted that Xia wasn't fully recovered and needed to rest. Xia asked to be left alone, then went to someone's home and knocked on the door. The boy inside replied, telling him to stop knocking rapidly, and demanded to know who was there. When Miao opened the door, he was shocked to see Xia covered in blood. Miao asked what Xia wanted. Xia replied that his home had been robbed, and he just wanted to check the surveillance video. Miao asked what that was. Xia showed him the camera and said it was a 360-degree unplugged wireless monitor. Miao agreed. Xia asked to check who had beaten him up because he needed to find them. Miao agreed, but told him to hurry because it was his sleep time. As Xia went to check, he thought the camera had the perfect angle for his alleyway and wondered who the person would be. Then, he saw a truck and recognized its owner by the license plate. He then returned home. Nan asked what he had been doing. Xia replied that he had found out who saved his life. Nan asked who it was. Xia said it was Tian. He had checked the CCTV and found that Tian's arrival and departure times matched the time of Xia's rescue. Nan said that Tian was a good person who not only gave them food, but also saved Xia's life. Xia then asked Nan if he had heard the news that the Tinan Run group was paying a good amount of money to those who could find a solution. Nan was shocked and asked what Xia was thinking of doing. Xia replied that he was trying to make life a bit easier for both of them in this hellish world. He questioned how long their current food supply would last and what they would do afterward, asking if Nan still expected Tian to give them more food. Nan slapped Xia and asked if he wanted to repay Tian with such hatred. He exclaimed how he could have given birth to such an ungrateful beast and threatened to break Xia's legs if he dared to go to Tianan. Xia asked if Nan understood their current situation, saying they could only rely on themselves to survive. He insisted he was doing what he had to do to survive, and that was all, as he was thinking about how they couldn't get rid of their pursuers because they were following too closely. He saw 2 cars blocking his way. Just then, he found himself surrounded from all sides. He came out holding Xia tightly in his grasp. Chen called Tian, introducing himself as an affiliate of the Tianan-run pharmaceutical company. He explained that he was using a special method to get Tian to meet him and assured Tian that he had no ulterior motives. Chen mentioned that the Tianan group had the cure for the poisoning pandemic and proposed discussing a cooperation. Tianan would provide the cure, and they would contribute their efforts, making huge profits together. Tian asked what would happen if he refused. Chen replied that Tian had only 2 options. The first was to cooperate, making everyone happy, allowing them all to earn money with smiles on their faces. Tian then asked about the second option. Chen responded that they would find the cure for the disease themselves, implying they would use force if necessary. Tian replied that it was only by chance he had discovered the cure for the poisoning epidemic, and there was only 1 dose, which he had already used. Chen called Tian, introducing himself as an affiliate of the Tianan-run pharmaceutical company. He explained he had come to discuss cooperation regarding Tian's cure for the poisoning pandemic. Tian regretted they had come all this way for nothing, noting they didn't even have guns, and Xia was of no use to them. If they had firearms, they could have simply injured Tian without the need for threats. Chen remarked that Tian seemed unmoved, even in the face of danger. Chen made a call and asked if they were at the farm gate, instructing them to capture the little girl and feed her the poisonous fruits. He questioned the point of electrifying Tian's broken fence, knowing it was surrounded by insulation protection veterans. He urged Tian to understand his own value and cooperate to make money together with Tianan. Tian's demeanor turned ominous, and he expressed his hatred for threats. Chen wondered how a mere farmer could have such a terrifying gaze. Tian warned Chen that he should be grateful they hadn't come to the farm together, or they wouldn't be alive much longer. Chen dismissed Tian's warning, feeling confident in their numbers. He demanded Tian cooperate, promising he and his sister would live. Seeing Tian's reluctance to cooperate, Chen ordered his people to cut off Tian's limbs and leave him alive. The intruders managed to break through the walls of Tian's farm, creating such a loud disturbance that Han could no longer enjoy her cartoons in peace. Annoyed, she felt a strong urge to silence them once and for all. Meanwhile, Tian found himself fighting alone, effortlessly throwing enemies aside with sheer force. Chen, witnessing the chaos, was stunned. He hadn't expected the farm to have such powerful defenses, and it was clear that the intruders needed to be lured away. From a distance, a man observed the battle, his suspicions growing as rocks were blasted apart. At first, he thought explosives were being used, but upon closer inspection, he realized something else was at play. His plan quickly changed. Tian needed to be captured alive. No one had truly grasped the extent of his strength. Tian himself was amazed. Just a few days of eating radiation-resistant crops had drastically enhanced his body. His speed, strength, bone density, and reflexes had improved far beyond what he ever imagined. In ancient times, warriors pursued mastery through swordsmanship, but Tian had found his own path, with his fists. A man lunged at him with a knife, but Tian sidestepped with ease. His movements felt sharper, more refined. Let's create some space first, he thought, fully aware that his physical abilities were no longer ordinary. Spotting Chen, Tian raised his gun. Fear flashed in Chen's eyes as he realized his mistake. He hadn't expected Tian to be armed. If he could just close the distance, the gun would become useless. Desperate, Chen tried to warn Tian, insisting that there were far more powerful figures backing him and that provoking them would bring dire consequences. Tian didn't care, He fired, taking down several fleeing intruders. The survivors scattered in panic, and Chen took the chance to disappear into the woods, waiting for Tian to run out of bullets. As Tian's shots stopped, Chen smirked from behind a rock, assuming his enemy was finally out of ammunition. This was his chance. He prepared to strike, but before he could make a move, he heard the distinct click of a pistol being loaded. Tian had retrieved another gun from his inventory and was now aiming directly at Chen from above. Chen's confidence wavered. How does he still have a weapon? He muttered, growing uneasy. Is he a martial artist too? Meanwhile, back at the farm, the battle had already ended. Every intruder lay motionless on the ground. B stood at the center of the carnage, her mechanical systems running through a final assessment. The last intruder had been eliminated, his head blown clean off. For a moment, she hesitated. If Tian returned and saw this, would he think she was too violent? Would he reject her? Not willing to take that risk, B hurried to dispose of the bodies before Tian came back. Chen, now severely injured, gasped for breath, realizing too late that threatening Tian with a child had been a grave mistake. Desperate, he pleaded for mercy, promising to reveal everything if Tian spared him. Tian, unfazed, told him there would be no easy way out. But he gave Chen a choice, either a quick, painful death or a chance to be healed, only to continue suffering. I have plenty of bullets and plenty of time, Tian remarked coldly. Faced with no alternative, Chen agreed to talk. Tian's first question was simple. Who was behind the attack? Chen hesitated, but then admitted that it was Liang, the CEO of Tianrun Pharmaceuticals. Tian wasn't surprised. Liang was ruthless, known for manipulating markets and inflating prices. It all made sense. When asked if anyone else was involved, Chen explained that Liang had kept the operation secret, even from the company's top executives. However, he revealed that Liang had been in conflict with the company's vice president and was using this situation to gain more authority, impress headquarters, and eliminate the VP from the Southern City branch. Tian considered this carefully. Tianrun Pharmaceuticals, despite its power, was only a subsidiary of a much larger corporation. He needed to be cautious. He smacked Chen to keep him conscious and demanded to know if Liang had reported anything to headquarters. Chen shook his head. Liang was too afraid that word would get back to his rival, the vice president, which could ruin his plans. That meant the situation hadn't escalated beyond their control yet. Now, Tian wanted to meet Liang face to face. Just then, Chen's phone rang. It was Liang. Is the mission done? Liang asked. Chen, under Tian's watchful eye, hesitated before replying. We have the target under control, but he insists on meeting with you before revealing anything. Liang's voice dripped with frustration. You're useless, Chen. You can't even handle one man? Chen quickly apologized, explaining that Tian was tight-lipped and had already taken out several of their men. There was silence before Liang finally gave in. Fine, take him to warehouse 78. I'll be there soon. The call ended abruptly. Unbeknownst to Liang, Tian had forced Chen to say those words. With no time to waste, Tian tied Chen up and had Xia switch clothes with him. During the car ride, Xia, still shaken, quietly thanked Tian. Tian simply responded, "Don't get sentimental. Your father was just in the wrong place at the wrong time." Xia lowered his head, murmuring an apology. When they arrived at the warehouse, Xia, disguised as Chen, stepped inside with the bound Nan. Liang stood waiting, flanked by two men, his expression filled with suspicion. "Why just the two of you? Where's the boy?" Liang demanded. Xia quickly made up an excuse. The messenger got knocked out. He's in the car, and Chen, he had a stomach ache, so he ran to the restroom. I figured I should bring Nan over first. Liang scoffed. Pathetic. He turned his attention to Nan, who was bound and battered. "You're still alive? Guess I didn't hit you hard enough?" His men laughed before delivering another cruel kick to Nan's side. Xia trembled under Liang's piercing gaze. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Liang barked. Bring him here." His men continued to beat Nan, while Liang sneered, calling them worthless. Then everything changed. A thunderous crash shook the warehouse as Tian came smashing through the roof, landing a powerful kick straight into Liang's chest. Stunned silence followed. Liang, struggling to get up, coughed and glared at Tian. The walls weren't easy to climb, he muttered bitterly. Tian didn't respond. He simply raised his gun, aiming directly at Liang. The two guards froze in place. "Don't move," Tian ordered. His voice was calm, but the threat was clear. Liang's eyes darted toward the unconscious Chen. "How did you get here? Did Chen betray me?" Tian smirked. "You're a smart man, Liang. How did someone as clueless as you become the head of Tianrun?" Liang clenched his teeth. "You think you can just waltz in here and kill me?" "Depends," Tian said casually. "You just threatened a child. Maybe I should see if it's worth keeping you alive." Liang straightened up. "If you kill me, my men will kill Nan instantly." Tian arched an eyebrow. "Are you sure?" A flicker of doubt crossed Liang's face. "Killing you is far cheaper than negotiating," Tian added. Liang snapped his fingers. "Kill them all!" His men reached for their weapons, but before they could react, Tian pulled the trigger. 2 shots rang out. The guards collapsed to the floor, lifeless. Jia gasped in horror. "You didn't have to—" Tian cut him off. "If you think I'd let them live after what they tried to do, then you're even dumber than I thought." Ignoring Jia's protests, he turned his gun back to Liang, who was now completely alone. "You wanted to play this game, Liang," Tian said, his tone icy. "Now let's see how well you handle losing." Jia, still trembling, wasted no time. He rushed to free his father, knowing that Tian's wrath was only just beginning. Xia and Nan knelt before Tian, their faces heavy with guilt and gratitude. Xia bowed his head, apologizing for everything, admitting that his regrets could never make up for what had happened. Still, he thanked Tian for sparing them. Tian, unfazed, assured them that he didn't believe in guilt by association. Nan had done him no harm. Nan, however, blamed himself. "I should have stopped him," he muttered. "I should have done something." "Enough with the apologies," Tian said. "Move forward instead of asking for forgiveness over and over." He made it clear. Xia didn't deserve punishment, and he wouldn't harm him. But what happened next? That was up to Xia. Xia swallowed hard and promised that he and Nan had no secrets left. They were on Tian's side now. Tian nodded. "Then let's clean this up, gather the bodies." Nan hesitated. "What are you going to do?" "Get rid of the evidence," Tian said simply. As they stacked the bodies together, Xia glanced at Nan. "Is he burying them?" Nan sighed. "Leaving them here is too risky." Just as Nan reached out to move Chen's body, there was a flash of movement. Chen, barely alive, lunged with a jagged piece of broken mirror. Nan barely dodged, stumbling backward in shock. Xia's eyes widened. "How?" Chen smirked, his face twisted in pain. "I've got nothing left to lose. Might as well take one of you with me." He swung the broken glass at Nan again, but this time, Xia stepped forward, taking the blow himself. "Xia!" Nan shouted as blood seeped from his side. Before Chen could strike again, the roar of an engine cut through the chaos. Tian's truck barreled forward, a sickening thud. Chen's body crumpled to the ground. Xia gasped in pain, collapsing as Nan rushed to his side. Tears welled in Nan's eyes. "You idiot! Why did you do that?" Xia forced a weak smile. "Guess I finally did something right." Nan shook his head, guilt twisting inside him. "You were right about me. I was useless, too scared to be good, too scared to be bad. And because of me, you—" His voice broke. "You deserved better." Xia exhaled, his strength fading. "Tell Han, thanks for the candy." He closed his eyes, and he was gone. Nan clenched his fists, overwhelmed with grief. After a long silence, he and Tian set fire to the warehouse. Flames engulfed the remains, erasing the evidence of the battle. Far away, in a quiet office, Ren sipped her tea as a frantic messenger burst through the door. "Calm down," she said coolly. "Speak slowly." The messenger took a shaky breath. "Liang is dead." Ren's fingers paused around her cup. "Oh?" Soon after, she examined the bodies herself. "Are you certain?" A forensic doctor nodded. "DNA from dental pulp confirms it. Liang and Chen are dead. The others, we have no matches for them, no missing persons reports, and given the lack of police resources, further investigation isn't likely." Ren barely acknowledged that. "Accident or murder?" "Murder," the doctor replied. Several bodies had bullet wounds. They were shot before being stacked and burned in a car. Some showed signs of torture. Ren studied the remains. Whoever did this wasn't just killing. They were sending a message. She tapped her nails against the desk. If this was a personal attack against Liang, then she had no problem celebrating tonight, with 2 bottles of red wine. But if this was a strike against Tianrun Corporation, she narrowed her eyes. That meant war. Tian placed a small bomb at the back of Nan's neck. "Are you sure about this?" he asked. Nan's expression was hard. "I'll risk my life for it," he declared without hesitation. Tian nodded. "I've erased what I could, but Tianrun might still find a trail leading back to us. Don't let what happened to Xia happen again." Nan clenched his fist around the device. "I won't fail." With that settled, Tian shared everything with him before they returned home. As they arrived, Tian called out, "Han, what are you up to?" Nan blinked in surprise. Han was completely unfazed by the chaos they had been through. She even had a robot dog following her around. Outside, she had arranged a crane and a small mound of sand, carefully concealing the bodies. When she noticed them, she quickly denied doing anything wrong. "I was just playing a digging game," she said innocently. "I didn't set anything off." Tian sighed. "I saw everything." Han's shoulders slumped. I didn't want you to hate me." Tian's expression softened. "Why would I hate you?" "Because She hesitated. "I killed people." Nan watched quietly as Tian knelt before Han. "No matter what you've done," Tian assured her, "I'll stand by you. Always. You're my family, Han, the most important person in my life. I'm just glad you know how to protect yourself." Han's eyes welled up. "Then, I'll always protect you too." Nan exhaled, feeling the weight of the world shifting too fast around him. Then, Han hesitated before revealing something else. "I saw them, Tian, the ones who tried to hurt us. They were red." Tian frowned. "Red?" Han nodded. "That's the color they gave off. It made me hate them." "Is that why you ordered B to eliminate them?" "B said they deserved it. They knocked down the gate while I was watching cartoons." Tian thought for a moment. "And do other people have colors?" Han tilted her head. "Yeah, you're blue. Hei is green. Xia was red too." Nan swallowed hard. "And me?" Han hesitated. "Gray, but there's a little green too." Tian realized something. Everyone Han saw in red had harbored ill intentions. Could it be an evolved ability? "Do you see any words or letters on them?" he asked. She shook her head. "Number just colors." Tian's mind raced. "And when did you start seeing them?" "A week ago, right when the world began to collapse." Tian pinched Han's cheeks playfully as he thought. Han huffed. "Why do you always do that?" Tian smirked. "Because I think better that way." Nan chuckled despite himself. Tian's theory solidified. After eating radiation-resistant crops, their bodies had changed. Their strength, reflexes, even their perception had evolved. Han's ability to see colors. It was like a built-in warning system. "You have the eye of good and evil," he told her. Han beamed. "Does that mean I can help you?" Tian nodded. "If you ever see someone glowing red again, tell me. You're my strongest assistant." Han giggled. "I like that." Tian ruffled her hair. "Now, are you hungry?" She grinned. "Always." Later, they all sat down to eat. Tian turned to Nan. "From now on, you'll live here. Help with the farm. Nan didn't argue. I don't know everything yet, but I'll do what you say. Han clapped. Where will you stay? I'll build a small hut near the gate. Keep watch. Han paused. And Shia? Nan's voice was quiet. He's gone to another world to atone for his sins. Han thought about that. It seems like people who glow red don't live long. Tien didn't correct her. I'll make sure no one bullies you or Hei, Han declared. If they do, B will take care of them. Tien chuckled. Good girl. Now, eat. Nan sat silently, realizing there was no going back. His hands were already stained with blood. If he was going to live in this world, he would follow Tien, and he would make sure his son's death wasn't in vain. Elsewhere, in a high-rise office, a man watched a press conference. A speaker addressed the crisis. It has been 15 days since the catastrophe. The death toll on Blue Star has reached 38.6 million. In the Yanhang Federation, 4.7 million have perished. The federal government is transferring grain reserves, and soilless cultivation technology will soon be scaled up. Do not panic. The man's son approached. What should we do? The man's gaze didn't waver. Did you read Ren's report? Yes, the boy replied. Liang is dead. A smirk crossed the man's face. Tien is a good earner, a shame we lost him. He glanced at a classified document. The mutation process was accelerating faster than expected. The military police have captured a level 5 mutated beast near the southern border, he murmured. His son's eyes widened. That's impossible. The highest level we've ever researched is level 3. The man leaned back in his chair. Nature is evolving faster than we are. There was a long pause. Jing, he said finally, you'll take over the lab. Ren discovered something interesting about Liang's experiments. We'll see if she was right. The boy nodded. Ren sat in her office, lost in thought. The records from 2 days ago had seemed entirely routine, giving no hint of anything unusual. Yet, the surveillance footage from those critical days had been deleted by Liang, leaving them with nothing to go on. It seemed futile to dwell on it now. For the moment, they had more pressing matters to attend to, like the location of the new research institute. And of course, she still had to welcome the incoming leader. Stepping outside, Ren greeted Jing, who had arrived from the south. After a firm handshake and a few brief introductions, Ren noticed a man standing behind Jing. She raised an eyebrow and asked, Who's this? Jing explained, This is Kui, the king's assistant. Jing then mentioned hearing about a possible research institute location and asked Ren if he could take a look at it. Ren nodded, agreeing to show him a few locations on the outskirts of the city for him to choose from. The scene shifted to Tien, who was inspecting his fish livestock in the pond. He had fish ranging from level 1 to level 5, and he marveled at the variety of species available. Tien noted that the points required to purchase different types of fish at the same level were consistent. Then, his eyes caught something unusual, a bluefin tuna, a rare pre-apocalyptic fish, available for 500 points. Excited, Tien asked Han, Do you like bluefin tuna? Han's eyes widened. Isn't that the one that melts in your mouth? Yes, Tien confirmed with a smile. We couldn't afford it before, but now we can eat as much as we want. Han beamed. Let's have a feast. Tien gathered his equipment and suggested to Han that they use the excavator to dig a fish pond. Han, full of enthusiasm, agreed immediately, and soon Hei joined them with the excavator. Tien, Han, Hei, and Nan made their way to an open area where Tien instructed them to start digging. Nan, rubbing Hei's head, noticed how much larger it had grown and asked about its age. Tien explained that Hei had already reached adulthood and shouldn't be growing any larger. Nan speculated that Hei had gained weight due to the good food on the farm, recalling how small Hei had been when it first arrived, only reaching Nan's knees. Now, it reached up to their thighs. Tien nodded, acknowledging that daily proximity made the gradual changes less noticeable. He feared potential mutations, like bees, but reassured himself that all poisonous crops had been disposed of after the bee incident. He considered whether Hay had evolved due to the consumption of radiation-resistant crops, like Han, and decided to keep a close eye on him. As Tian continued to monitor the situation, he noticed a visitor approaching. Wondering who it could be, he turned to check, and Nan asked what had caught his attention. Tian observed 2 men and a woman approaching with a threat level of 8. It was Ren, Jing, and Kui. Jing knocked at the gate, and Ren asked Jing if they truly needed to inspect the new locations she had selected. She emphasized the enhanced equipment and security the locations offered, but Jing assured her the farm was excellent and the location adequate. He intended to finalize the purchase before transferring operations there. Ren reluctantly agreed, but couldn't shake her feeling of frustration at Jing's lack of acknowledgement for the effort she had put into securing those places. Jing instructed Kui to keep knocking, determined to get Tian's attention. When Tian arrived and inquired about their business, Jing identified Tian as the owner and expressed a need to discuss business face-to-face. Tian refused, insisting that they speak from where they stood and to make it quick, as he was busy. Jing conceded, attributing the urgency to the chaos outside. Ren, puzzled by Tian's demeanor, introduced herself as the general manager of Tian Run Company and clarified their intention to purchase the farm. She asked about his price, and Tian wondered how they had found his farm already. Ren explained that they would meet Tian's demands, whether it was his asking price or other conditions. She even offered him a place in the villa area of the city center if he needed it. Tian firmly declined, expressing his preference to stay where he was. Ren pressed him to hear their offer, hinting that being from the southern side, Tian might recognize Tianrun's reputation and change his mind. Tian reiterated his contentment with his current situation, stating that not even a mountain of gold would sway him. Frustrated, Kui slammed the gate in anger, triggering a security alert in Tian's system. The warning indicated a minor attack with a strength of 2, asking if Tian wanted to retaliate. Tian declined, noting that Kui could easily trigger a serious response with just 1 punch. Jing scolded Kui and slapped him, reminding him of their leader's teachings and warning him against such behavior without permission. Kui apologized, acknowledging his mistake. Tian found the situation intriguing. Jing reassured Tian not to take it personally, describing Kui as ignorant. Tian dismissed the incident and invited Kui closer to the gate. As Kui approached, Tian swiftly struck him with precision using his hummingbird technique, knocking Kui to his knees. Tian quipped that Kui had punched his gate, and in return, he had punched him back. With a smirk, he suggested they were now even and indicated they should leave if there was nothing else. Jing, silent but smiling, didn't protest. Jing wrote a brief note, apologizing for the inconvenience they had caused Tian and expressing regret for any trouble. He included his phone number, suggesting that Tian could contact him if he ever changed his mind. Ren, however, found Tian's dismissal rude and doubted he would ever call. She watched as Tian tore up the note without hesitation, fueling her determination not to be looked down upon. As they got into their car to leave, Tian stood by, pondering how quickly Tianrun had managed to locate his farm. He questioned whether they had specifically been searching for him, or if it was mere coincidence. Resolving to retrieve the hummingbird guard, he watched their departure, knowing they would cross paths again soon. With only 10 days remaining until the next destructive season, he took stock of his plantation's stable output and the progress in the aquatic area. His next step was to develop a livestock section, ensuring survival in the difficult times ahead. Later that evening, after preparing dinner, Tian sat down to eat with Han and Nan. Han excitedly asked him to try the sesame sauce she had made, and after taking a bite, Tian agreed. It was delicious. She mentioned how comforting mutton hot pot was during winter, and Tian nodded in agreement, reminiscing about its warmth. Nan, shifting the topic, questioned if they were dressed appropriately for the current climate and expressed concern about the land's decreasing cultivability. Tian noted that Han had been curious about something for a while, but decided not to elaborate. Nan, understanding the unspoken message, assured him he wouldn't pry into his secrets. Tien then revealed something unexpected. He wanted Nan to mentally prepare himself, as the food they had been eating wasn't ordinary. Over time, it could lead to changes in the body, such as heightened immunity to cold, improved physical fitness, and possibly even unique abilities. Nan, intrigued but skeptical, remarked that it sounded like something straight out of a science fiction story. Tien chuckled and explained that, given the nature of the apocalypse, what once seemed like fiction had now become reality. He likened the changes to evolution rather than anything supernatural. Nan admitted he didn't fully understand, but decided to focus on his meal. Curious, he asked if anyone had visited that day. Tien confirmed it had been representatives from Tianrun. Nan was surprised by the implications and half-jokingly wondered if even he, an old and seemingly useless man, could benefit from the farm's food. Tien reassured him, advising Nan to rest early while he went out for some errands. Meanwhile, Tien tracked the location of Hummingbird number 1 and discovered it was in the Harmony Villa district. The scene shifted to Ren, who had returned home with Jing and Kui. She offered them a place to stay for the night and promised to arrange proper accommodations the next day. Jing thanked her, expressing concern about causing trouble. Ren dismissed the notion and led them downstairs, allowing them to choose from the 4 available rooms. She assured them that dinner would be brought to their rooms, and Jing agreed with her arrangements, urging Ren to rest early. As Ren settled in, a small hummingbird drone from Tien's possession hovered around her, irritating her. She grumbled about mosquitoes being present despite the cold weather, not knowing that she was being spied on by a mechanical bird. After a long day, she decided to pamper herself with a skincare session. Staring into the mirror after a refreshing shower, she studied her reflection and mused about whether a successful and beautiful woman like herself left any room for others. Applying a face mask, she noticed the persistent buzzing noise and mistook it for a beetle. Annoyed, she opened the window to let it fly out. The fresh night air was a welcome relief after the room had been heated by the air conditioner. However, just as she took a deep breath, she froze. Outside the window, standing eerily still, was a young boy staring directly at her. The boy leaped inside, moving swiftly before Ren could react. She tried to call for help, but he silenced her with a firm grip over her mouth. Panic surged through her mind as she wondered where her bodyguards were. How could they allow an intruder to get this close? She mentally noted that she would fire every last one of them. The boy forced her to lie down, his strength overwhelming. No matter how much she struggled, she couldn't break free. Realizing resistance was futile, she tried a different approach. She had to stay calm and de-escalate the situation. He issued a chilling warning. He would release her only if she remained silent and did not resist. Otherwise, he would act faster than her guards, and he had a knife to ensure it. Ren forced herself to breathe evenly. When he finally let go of her mouth, she quickly offered him an alternative. "There's money, jewelry, gold, all in the bedside cabinet," she said, her voice steady despite the fear bubbling inside. "Take it. Take everything you want. Just don't hurt me. I swear I won't call the police." The boy smirked at her cooperation. "You understand how things work," he mused. Ren nodded, keeping her tone composed. "The world runs on wealth. Hurting me would bring you nothing but trouble. If you take the money and leave quietly, it'll be enough to buy plenty of food." But then, his expression darkened. "I didn't come here for money." A cold realization struck her. This wasn't a robbery. Her mind raced to another possibility. "Then what?" A horrifying thought flashed through her mind. "You're not some pervert, are you?" He cut her off sharply. "Did you send someone to kill Liang?" His voice carried a sharp edge of accusation. "Why did it take you so long to start investigating?" Ren's pulse quickened. So this was about Liang's murder. It wasn't a random attack. He must have been connected to Liang in some way. But how? As far as she knew, all of Liang's closest associates were dead. You knew Liang? She asked cautiously. The boy's gaze hardened. He did me a favor once. Now, I want revenge. Ren pieced it together. He must have heard about her investigation and come looking for answers. If you're here to accuse me, you're wasting your time, she said firmly. Yes, I'm investigating, but I don't have enough clues yet. No one does. The boy remained skeptical. Convenient, he scoffed. Liang dies, and you take his place. That doesn't look suspicious to you? Ren clenched her jaw. He was right. Without evidence, she looked just as guilty as anyone else. And she had made plenty of enemies in the southern side. It wouldn't have been difficult for someone to use the chaos to eliminate Liang. I had no reason to kill him, she stated. His position wasn't worth that much to me. The boy studied her carefully before nodding. That makes sense. His suspicion wavered, but doubt lingered. You really don't have any suspects? Ren sighed. None. Liang erased all recent documents and surveillance before he died. I don't even know who he was dealing with at the time. How do you expect me to find a suspect when there's nothing left to investigate? The boy frowned. So, Liang was covering his own tracks. He wanted everything for himself. Before Ren could respond, footsteps echoed outside. The boy tensed. Without hesitation, he struck her on the neck, knocking her unconscious just as the door burst open. Kui charged in, his voice booming. Ren! The maid, pale with fear, hurried to check on her. The alarm system was triggered, she stammered. Something happened. Kui scanned the room, eyes darting to the open window. Don't let him escape, he ordered. Outside, the boy swiftly descended, but he had underestimated his pursuers. Jing stood waiting below, calm but firm. Breaking into a woman's bedroom in the middle of the night? He mused. That's pretty low. The boy narrowed his eyes. How did you find me? Jing smirked. You stepped on a gravity sensor at the window. The moment you did, I told Kui to block the door. If you didn't want a direct fight, you only had one way out. The boy gritted his teeth. He had to admit, Jing was sharp. But could a bean sprout like him actually stop him? Testing him, the boy lunged forward with a powerful punch. Jing blocked effortlessly, countering with a strike of his own. The force sent the boy stumbling back. He was stunned. Jing wasn't just some strategist, he had real combat skills. Jing glanced down at the faint scars on his own leg. Interesting, he mused. Your bones should be shattered after that impact, but you're still standing. The boy's hands trembled slightly. Jing's gaze sharpened. You've trained in martial arts, haven't you? I didn't see any techniques though. Where did you learn to fight like that? Silence stretched between them. Jing's voice turned ice cold. If you don't answer, I'm not letting you leave tonight. Tian studied Jing carefully, still stunned that his opponent had blocked his punch so effortlessly. His physical abilities had already surpassed normal human limits, yet this man had stopped him. Was Jing a trained martial artist? The thought troubled Tian. He didn't want to be entangled with a skilled fighter. But before he could dwell on it further, approaching voices signaled that others had heard the commotion. Tian exhaled sharply and looked at Jing. I don't have time to play with you, he said. Next time we meet, I'll beat you to death. Jing lunged to attack, but the boy swiftly tossed a handful of dust into the air, blinding him. Jing coughed, struggling to clear his vision as the boy mocked him. Wash your eyes, I'll be leaving now. By the time Jing managed to blink the dust away, the boy had already leaped over the wall. Goodbye, he called out, disappearing into the night. Jing's companions arrived moments later. Are you okay? One of them asked. Did you let him escape?